to Offspring, this is Self-Esteem.
All right, sing along, okay? La, 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 la.
April 8th, 1994. Kurt Cobain was pronounced dead, and by extension, so was grunge. Luckily, Green Day's Dookie had already been out for 2 months by this time, and the Offspring released their soon-to-be seminal third album, Smash. Punk rock, or more specifically pop punk, was starting to enter the mainstream. The Offspring would become more pop punk as time went on, but at this point in their career, they had an edgier sound that was a great mix of hardcore punk and alternative rock. The timing of the album couldn't have been more perfect for the group, as the unfortunate passing of Kurt Cobain meant that there was a huge void in the mainstream musical landscape to be filled, and Green Day's opening of the floodgates 2 months earlier meant that the Offspring could ride those floodwaters into stardom. The Offspring entered the studio after touring on their second album, Ignition, and they recorded Smash in January and February 1994 on a meager budget of $20,000. They recorded everything quickly and frequently recorded during off hours at the studio when no other bands were there, so they could get a discounted rate. The final product is a very well put together album, the success of which took the band totally by surprise. Frontman Dexter Holland was quoted as saying that radio play was something the band never considered would happen for them. But radio play they did get, and lots of it. The album's lead singles, Come Out and Play and Self-Esteem, received lots of radio play, and the single Gotta Get Away also received some radio play, albeit less than the other two. Bad Habit also became somewhat of a minor radio hit, specifically from LA-based radio station K-Rock, becoming one of the most requested songs at the time and being added to their playlist, but Bad Habit was never actually released as a single. Smash has sold 6 million copies stateside and 11 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling album ever released by an independent record label, being released on Epitaph Records, which is owned and operated by Bad Religion guitarist Brett Gurewitz. The release was so huge for the label that Gurewitz quit Bad Religion for a while to focus on running his label full-time. Smash also reached number 4 on the US Billboard 200, as well as peaking at number 1 on the Heatseekers chart. Very impressive for this band's first foray into the mainstream. The album opens with a spoken word intro titled Time to Relax, where a raspy voiced narrator implores us to sit back, relax, and enjoy the album they're about to hear. This intro launches into the first proper song, Nitro Youth Energy, a fast romp which urges the audience to live their lives to the fullest. After this is the confrontational and heavy track Bad Habit, in which the narrator of the song explicitly tells the listener that whenever he gets flipped off or cut off in traffic, he responds violently with his gun that he keeps in his glove box. This song also has an incredible profanity-laced vocal break before the final chorus, and is easily one of the greatest things I had heard as an angsty young teenager. Next is the minor hit Gotta Get Away, a mid-tempo song featuring a catchy driving drum beat and lyrics concerning the pressure that Dexter Holland felt to finish this album in time, leaving him feeling edgy and paranoid. The politically charged songs on the album start with the 5th track, Genocide, which calls out the unfortunate fact that people tend to prey on their fellow human beings and kill each other for seemingly no reason at all. The narrator from the intro comes back at the end of Genocide, saying,
I especially enjoyed that one. Let's see what's next.
What's next is the short track Something to Believe In, featuring a unique and upbeat guitar riff inside an uptempo song about the dichotomous concepts of faith and skepticism. This leads into the album's 2 lead singles back-to-back, starting with Come Out and Play, which tells of the sad truth of young gang violence, particularly at schools. This was inspired by frontman Dexter Holland driving to school as a grad student through some gang-ridden neighborhoods of East LA, as well as the 1992 LA riots, which Holland witnessed firsthand. An interesting fact about Come Out and Play is the Arabian-influenced guitar riff was deemed too similar to a riff in the classic Agent Orange track Bloodstains, which resulted in 1 cent of every copy of Smash sold to be paid to the original writers of the Agent Orange track. It sounds similar to me, but not enough to warrant a sampling fee. This ends side 1, and side 2 starts with the album's next lead single, Self-Esteem, a catchy song about staying in an abusive relationship because you have no self-esteem to leave. This song really showcases the range of Dexter Holland's vocals, showing his ability to sing at a higher register crisply, cleanly, and for extended periods of time. Following this is the track It'll Be a Long Time, another fast song that calls out the elite and powerful and their warmongering ways, making the world a more violent and unstable place in the process. And the song suggests that maybe they should give peace a chance. But following this is the only cover on the album, a cover of the Digits' Killboy Powerhead, a short song about a tough guy and his tough girlfriend. Following this is a fun little track, What Happened to You, in which the narrator tells of a friend who has changed since he started taking drugs, and now he doesn't even get the simplest of things. Another fun track is up next, So Alone, which features a very fun sing-along chorus. The second to last track, Not the One, is another politically charged song where they call out the state of the world and how it's not the citizens' fault that the world is a messed up place, and that the fault lies with people in charge. Closing out the album is a self-titled track which tells you to be yourself and live your own life as you see fit. A common theme throughout the album, just like the politically charged themes as well. At the end of the self-titled closer, the narrator from the beginning bids us farewell, and afterwards a familiar drum beat that the band has used many times fades in. And not too soon after that, there is a hidden track that is a remix of the Arabian riff from Come Out and Play. Smash clocks in at just under 47 minutes, including the silence between the final song and the hidden track. The last thing of note about Smash is the album cover, an ominous black skeleton on a gold background that looks like it's being x-rayed. I always thought the cover is of a skeleton being burned away underneath very bright lights. The artwork for the singles also features the skeleton. I always loved the cover for Smash, but thinking about it now, it doesn't really seem to be a suitable fit for a punk album, but it does match the album's overall feel, being an album laced with plenty of dark imagery and featuring a darker sound than a lot of other punk albums from the time, possibly giving influence to Green Day's Insomniac from 1995, which has a darker sound and tone compared to its predecessor, Dookie. Still, the cover of Smash is as iconic as the album contained within, and even 30 years later, it should be revisited often by anyone who actually listens to good music. 5 out of 5 stars for Smash.